Did I get him? Did I get him?
Yes. 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 Look at me. How was it? What do you think, buddy? Look at me.
I think it's awesome.
Okay. Let's go look.
Watch on it.
That boy. Little boy. Way to go. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Watch out.
Yeah.
Hold on, easy.
You have a lot of blood.
Yeah. Easy. Hold on, hold on.
A perfect example of when hunting a pinch point on a saddle can pay off. Hey, what's up guys? Just wanted to talk to you guys about pinch points and about funnels. I consider them pretty much the same thing to me when it comes to hunting and how I break it down in order to determine that's a pinch point funnel that I should focus on or it's not. Before I get started, if you hear a bunch of noise in the background, that's the kids. But anyways, so there's different types of pinch points in funnels. All right, so you have some that are gonna be set up with field and field, and it's 20 yards between them of just woods, and that's gonna be a pinch point. That's gonna be a good pinch point because outside of the rut, most of your bigger deer are not gonna leave that pinch point unless they're going out into the field to eat. But they will travel that pinch point and use it for cover, obviously, but it's also to use it for bucks marking their territory. For does, it's a way for cover, and they can hide in it, and they can travel to go to a different food source than another food source. Some of my most favorite ones to hunt are pinch points, funnels, going from one bedding to another bedding. So I noticed that when I hunt those, especially during the rut, I see all different kinds of bucks. I just go hunt it, and because you never know what's going to show up at that point. So I have on the screen here a map. I'll upload it. I'll let you guys see it right here. This right here is a random map. I found it on Onyx, took a screenshot of it and put it on here. And I just wanted to go over a little bit in here in more detail of what I see on these maps for pinch points and funnels, just to give you guys an idea. Obviously, there's such a wide variety of how do we consider it a pinch point, how do we not. So a pinch point, you could have 40-foot tall pine trees and have a creek running down it. Well, that creek acts as like a barrier, and it's a transition, but it's also, if you have the creek and you have clear cut and that little section of woods right there between the clear cut and the creek, that's a pinch point. That right there is going to be a main travel corridor for these deer, just for safety reasons. So when I think of pinch points in funnels, I think of, all right, a pinch point funnel is a narrow area that these deer can travel through, and they feel safe to travel through, or safer to travel through than traveling a different route. And sometimes it is just that you have a neighborhood and a neighborhood, and you got a little strip of woods between the two neighborhoods, and that's your pinch point. That's your funnel. It's forcing all the deer to go through there without walking through somebody's yard. That's if you're hunting urban. If you're hunting big woods, you have a field and a strip of woods between it. Or you have, a big swampy bottom, right? And on that swampy bottom, on either end of the swampy bottom, those are going to be your pinch points or your funnels, because the deer aren't crossing the middle of that swamp. Not saying they won't, it's just less likely. They're going to cross at the top or bottom edge of that swamp, okay, rather than walking straight across it. And so that's going to create some sort of pinch point funnel for you to focus on and hunt. So when I break down these maps, I look at these certain things and the way the woods are lined up from Looking at the aerial photos, I can tell, hey, that's a pine tree. Hey, that's an oakwood bottom or oakwood hard ridge. And looking at the way the topo lines line up on here, I can determine it. And so, you know, it's just one of those things I enjoy doing. Actually, that guy right there, I killed him on a pinch point on a little funnel. It was one way in, one way out. It was early season. It was. I put a little feed out there just to get deer to come and stop in the middle of that funnel. Sure enough, he came in and stopped. It's a little bit harder to hunt those in early season unless you have a deer regular. But like this guy, he came through at 8:30 in the morning. I wasn't there. I said, uh-oh, I better get in the stand. So I went, found childcare, everything like that, got in the deer stand. Literally 10 minutes later, he came out. 150 inch 8-point, giant, great looking deer. Here, let me pull him down so you guys can see. A little bit better. 150 inch 8-point. Can't even, like, he's got great mass on him and everything. Good spread, great brows. Just a beautiful deer. He's a mainframe 8 with a little kicker here and a little kicker here. But beautiful deer, and I killed him on a pinch point early season. So, but anyways, let's break it down. Let's see what we see. I'm gonna bring the camera in so you won't see me, but I'll talk about it and move my cursor across it just for you guys. All right. All right. So, looking at this big overall map here. When I look at it, I go, all right, what's what? Obviously looking, we have like a lake here, looks like a lake over here with some fields with fingers. It looks like we have a hard ridge right here, the steep drop off going down. Some more lake over here, with a couple of roads in here mixed in with a lake up top here, okay? So when I look at this, I go, okay, which area should I focus on? And immediately my attention gets drawn to the big fields. I look at this and I go, okay, well, we have this lake right here. We have that lake there, and then we have the field here, but you can tell there's a little bit of woods right here between the lake and the field. So that's going to be a major pinch point. They're not going to cross that lake. It's just going to be rare that they cross a lake like that. So this pinch point, all these deer from over here are going to funnel through here and come out to here. We have the same thing down here. We have like a swampy area with woods right through here. So this right through here would be a great pinch point. Me personally, I even like out here, because if they're going from open field to open field, this right here is a pinch point. And then we'll look down here on the bottom edge, and you see this, how this is hard, steep cliff here. So these deer typically aren't going to walk on the edge of that. They'll walk on the bottom side or on the top side. Or even right here, you can see it's like a little saddle. So I consider that a pinch point, that saddle. So they'll come through and cross right here, and they'll cross on the bottom side. And then you have the lake here, so they'll even more cross right here, here and here. So if I was to set up a stand, I would probably have one here, depending on visibility, just so I could see this pinch point and see this one also, knock two birds out with one stone. Moving further up, I look at it and I'm like, all right, so we look like we have some structures here with the lake, river. So coming off of this, you can see that's really steep right there. The lines are close together on that topo map. Really steep. So right here on the bottom side is where I would look, because to go across this. Going from there, I see the lakes here and a field here. So this right here, I would consider a pinch point. And these are all just places I would start to look at and go, okay, let me hang a camera, let me walk it and see how much deer action is there. Because, if there's not much deer action there, why are we going to spend our time? other than to hang a camera and who knows what might be walking through there. Especially during early season, if I'm not seeing a ton of deer action, I'm probably not even bothering with it. I might put a camera there, and if the camera shows me a big buck coming through, that's it. So, but that's just one of the ones I wanted to show you guys. I want to show you that one. I mean, there's so much to break them down that even then it gets difficult sometimes. If you're looking overall at like a huge image, it's difficult to do. And this is where you got to do some walking. It is what it is. And I can look at the aerial maps and go, okay, this is a public land spot. Different state than Georgia. I'm looking at it. I go, hey, that's the spot I want to go to. That's the one. I want to go check it out. I want to see if we got rubs, scrapes, that sort of stuff in that little pinch point. If you have rubs or scrapes in that pinch point, you should hunt it, or at least hang a camera and see what kind of buck is using that as a travel corridor. There's a good chance that you have a mature buck coming through there. And if he's coming through there at nighttime, that just means, hey, we need to adjust a little bit and look at other ones close by, or look at thick cover to go hunt. So, and that's the one thing that most people don't realize, like a pinch point for me isn't just everything I've already talked about. Isn't just like ag fields to neighborhoods. It can literally be thick swamp bottom with a 40-yard, 100-yard wide stretch of oak trees running through it, or pine trees running through it. And rather than being in the swamps, they'll walk that little strip there, and that's, they'll do that more willing than in the actual swamp itself, from my experience. Some other people might have different experiences. Obviously, every property is different, but that is my starting point on how I would handle it. Here, I'll pull it in again so you guys can see it a little bit close up of that ag field and what I was talking about, because I zoomed in and took another picture of it, and you can see more precise exactly where I'm talking about, like on the bottom side of this lake, on what it is. It's just one of those right there. You can tell. So you can tell that's a lake right there with the ag field, and then you have that pinch point. That is a pinch point. So if it's let's say a east wind, I'm gonna be on this side. If it's a west wind, I'll be on this side of the pinch point. And sometimes, hey, you can see on the bottom side, you can tell, like, hey, really they come through and then they typically hug this edge if you follow the deer trails. So I don't necessarily need to be up close to the pinch point, but I need to be over here so I can cover, the wind's more in my favor, that sort of thing. And you can see the difference right here. You have taller trees to not so tall, probably thicker in here if I had to guess. So going from this right here to this right here is a pinch point. So either of those might be good to hunt. I like hunting edge of the field where I can see a long distance oftentimes. So hunting here so I could see this way, and then also seeing here, because you never know what you might catch walking across through here. Also, another pinch point is going to be this right here. I don't think I covered it on the first time, but you can see right there how that basically, it creates a nice little funnel pinch point for these deer to cross from this section of woods up to this section without having to go out and around. And so they'll be doing that also. So what's up, Hazel? So, but anyways, just wanted to cover. Okay. So sorry about that, guys. The daughter's here. Go on, girl. Go. Yes. She wants a snack. But that's how I break it down. Just one of those things that when I break it down, I look at little things like that, especially places I've never hunted, as a starting block. It's not the end all be all, but it's a great starting block to look for deer sign and to go, hey, that might be where I need to go. Obviously, if I'm hunting a big acorn ridge, look, I walk around, I find which acorn tree has the most sign under it, and I hunt that acorn tree. because obviously that's the hot acorn tree for the year, and they're all coming there. So that's how I like to do it, how I like to approach it. There's so much more to this topic. There really is, but that's the gist of it. I do those main points right there. I look for the little pinch points between creeks and open fields to in between neighborhoods for funnels and pinch points. I also look at the steep edges, the steep ledges with the little saddle between them. That little saddle is a great crossing point. They'll cross all day long there. So, but anyways, that's mainly what I do. Hey, if y'all haven't already, make sure you hit that like, subscribe. Let me know you enjoyed it. Also, when we hit 1,000, we're gonna do a giveaway. Steven said he's gonna do a tattoo, $500 credit on a tattoo. So, you know, you guys can get you something cool done, something outdoorsy. But anyways, thanks for watching. As always, tell your friends, share the video, let everybody know. I appreciate it, guys. Take care.